There's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing.
Did I believe him? I mean, I feel like you're trying to start stuff now.
Some people are trying to take that as sort of a shot machine.
Yeah, first off, I'm all about our team, you know what I mean, and each other. I would never make that, and I've said it before, that's why it's interesting. But for me, I've explained it. Entertainers are you all, competitor. That's what I am and all my teammates, and we both have jobs to do. So that's it.
I feel like you're trying to start stuff. I mean, he's doing his job. He's supposed to.
That's the third ball today thrown by Gabriel that really isn't anywhere close to his wide receiver.
Do I feel like he did? I don't know. And that's not on me to sit here and be like, oh, he didn't. That's not going to change my life in any way.
Fasten your seatbelts, football fans, because this update quietly flips the entire league on its head. This is not a feel-good headline, and it is definitely not about sympathy or hype. This is power, real power, and it shows just how loud the Shedeur Sanders wave has grown. What we are seeing is a real shift in how the NFL moves behind the scenes. Fan voices are starting to outweigh front office plans, and one rookie quarterback with limited snaps just shattered expectations and forced the league, the Browns, and even the loudest critics to face reality.
This is one guy I can't wait to see, and it's Shedeur Sanders. And there's been some up and down with this young man in his career, but I'll tell you what, quarterback's the hardest thing going in football. And this young man has had an uphill battle in terms of media scrutiny, unfair judgment of character. But it seems like the guys in that locker room really like him. And when he's out there playing football, he doesn't look to be a fish out of water. He looks like an NFL quarterback. I look forward to watching him get better and better.
This kind of moment does not come around often. It is rare. It is uncomfortable for some people. And it is happening in real time with no easy way to twist the story. The news hit earlier today and instantly took over the football world. Pro Bowl quarterback voting results were released, and sitting at number 10 like he belongs there is Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders among top 10 fan-voted QBs for Pro Bowl. Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders is making waves in the NFL, ranking 10th among fan-voted Pro Bowl quarterbacks despite playing only 5 games.
Read that carefully. Number 10 in the entire NFL. Not number 10 among rookies, not number 10 among backups. Number 10 overall, standing shoulder to shoulder with established stars, longtime leaders, and franchise quarterbacks who have been starting all season. When you look at the names around him, the situation gets even more serious. At number 1 is Drake May, the Patriots rookie who has started since week 1. Number 2 is Josh Allen, the engine of the Bills and an MVP-level force. Number 3 is Matthew Stafford, a Super Bowl-winning veteran with years of respect. Number 4 is Dak Prescott, the face of the Cowboys franchise. Number 5 is Patrick Mahomes, the standard of this era with multiple championships and MVPs. Number 6 is Jordan Love, the rising star in Green Bay. Number 7 is Caleb Williams, the top overall pick who has played every game. Number 8 is Jared Goff, leading the Lions at the top of the NFC. Number 9 is Sam Darnold, one of the biggest comeback stories of the season. And right there at number 10, in that same space, is Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders really stands out when you slow down and look at the names around him. Drake May has been on the field every single week. Josh Allen has been running the Bills' offense for years. Patrick Mahomes is a proven champion. Jared Goff has stacked wins. Sam Darnold has had a full season to build rhythm and confidence. Every quarterback ahead of him has had complete game plans, full-time reps, and offenses designed around them week after week. Then there is Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback the Browns kept on the bench for half the season as if he was not the missing spark. He stepped into a messy situation, never got a clean runway, and never had consistent first-team rhythm. Instead of easing him in, he was thrown straight into pressure against the Baltimore Ravens with no safety net. While the other quarterbacks in the top 10 started 12 games or more, Shedeur started just 4. That gap in opportunity is massive. Despite that, he is still sitting at number 10 in Pro Bowl voting. He is ahead of full-time starters. He is ahead of quarterbacks with triple the snaps and far more time to pile up stats. That alone shows how real the Shedeur Sanders momentum has become. Fans are paying attention to talent, not politics, not excuses, and not front office hesitation. People close to the situation have made it clear this moment is bigger than most realize. Around the league, there is quiet disbelief that this is not being talked about non-stop. What is happening does not follow the usual NFL script, and that is exactly why it matters. Calling this moment legendary might sound heavy, but it fits. The modern NFL almost never sees a rookie quarterback with only 4 starts climb into the top 10 of Pro Bowl voting.
You know, I think I have to do my part. get some wins. I think I have to do my part and play clean football, and the rest isn't in my hands. I don't own the organization, so I can't promise anything will happen. I'm not God. I can't dictate what's gonna happen each and every day, each and every minute. So you just gotta enjoy what you do have. You gotta enjoy the present. You can't look too deep into the future, because then you'll miss the blessings and the lessons that you learned from the now.
It almost never sees a player slowed down by coaching decisions still rise through pure fan backing and land among the elite at his position. This is not normal, and that is the point. Let's be clear, because this part actually matters. This was not sympathy voting. This was not hype tied to a last name. This had nothing to do with his father's legacy or nostalgia from the past. This happened because in just 4 starts, Shedeur Sanders showed exactly who he is when the lights turn on. He threw for over 1,000 yards and consistently showed high-level accuracy, placing the ball where only his receivers could make a play. He stayed calm and controlled like a seasoned veteran. Even when the situation turned messy, he never looked rattled or overwhelmed. Dropped into tough matchups with little margin for error, he showed real leadership. He brought teammates together, commanded respect in the huddle, and carried himself like the guy under center. When he threw 4 touchdown passes against the Tennessee Titans, even longtime skeptics had to stop and acknowledge the talent was real. His game was not limited to standing in the pocket either. When protection broke down, Shedeur made things happen with his legs. He showed mobility, awareness, and timing, adding another layer to his skill set and forcing defenses to stay honest. That balance made him harder to scheme against and harder to slow down. Now here's the question that people close to the situation have raised, and one every NFL fan should be thinking about right now. Will the league step back and let this play out fairly, or will it try to slow things down? That is the real issue sitting in the background. The fans have already spoken, and the votes are already in. The message could not be clearer. Shedeur Sanders earned Pro Bowl-level recognition through performance and presence. The only thing left to see is whether the league respects the will of the people or looks for a technical path to steer the story somewhere else. The insider doubled down and made the point even clearer. Fans and everyday people believe Shedeur Sanders deserves to be there, and that reality cannot be brushed aside. This was not decided by media panels with quiet agendas. It was not shaped by coaches with built-in bias or closed-door committees. This came straight from the fans, the people who watched the games, bought the tickets, and kept the league running. They made it known that Shedeur Sanders belongs in the Pro Bowl conversation. That is where this situation gets even heavier. When you step back and look at what could have been, the insider laid out one last hard truth. If Shedeur Sanders had been given his opportunity when he should have been, the same way other quarterbacks from his class were, there would be no debate at all. The comparison alone explains everything. Cam Ward has been the Miami Dolphins starter all season, getting every first-team rep and running an offense built around his strengths. Week after week, he has been allowed to grow chemistry with his receivers in live action. Jackson Dart has been starting since week 1, learning on the job, building timing, fixing mistakes, and settling into his role with real game experience. Bo Nix was handed the keys in Denver from the start and labeled the franchise quarterback of the future. Drake May was given full commitment in New England from day 1, even through losses, because the organization chose development over hesitation. Then there is Shedeur Sanders. The Browns made him sit and watch. While Jameis Winston struggled and threw interceptions, Shedeur stayed glued to the bench as the offense stalled and failed to score points. He was denied consistent first-team reps, cutting off any chance to build real chemistry with his receivers. Even when his moment came, he was put at a disadvantage with shaky preparation and confusing play calls. Instead of being eased in, he was thrown straight into action behind the 8 ball. And despite all of that, he still forced his way into the conversation. He was thrown into elite competition without proper preparation, and the odds were never level. The organization had already committed to other quarterbacks after drafting him in the 5th round, and every decision reflected that. Even with questionable coaching choices and obstacles that would derail most rookies, Shedeur Sanders still climbed to number 10 in Pro Bowl voting after just 4 starts. Now take a moment and picture a different path. Imagine Kevin Stefanski naming Shedeur the starter from day 1 of training camp. Imagine him getting every first-team rep, building timing, and opening the season as the unquestioned quarterback. Imagine him starting week 1 and playing a full season the way Cam Ward and Jackson Dart were allowed to. Imagine the Browns actually shaping the offense around his strengths instead of forcing him into a system designed for someone else. If that had happened, the conversation would look completely different. Shedeur would likely be sitting in the top 5 right now, and possibly even higher. He would be right in the mix with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes near the top of the list. His numbers would reflect a full season of confidence, rhythm, and trust with his receivers. His chemistry would be locked in, and his case for Offensive Rookie of the Year would be front and center. Instead, he faced every disadvantage possible: limited starts, inconsistent preparation, and no long runway to grow. Even so, the fans still saw what mattered. They watched the games, recognized the talent, and pushed him into the top 10 through their votes. People close to the situation made it clear that outside noise and resistance did not stop that momentum. This is what it looks like when public opinion cuts through the fog. The Browns tried to manage the narrative and slow things down. Kevin Stefanski leaned on vague explanations about readiness. Local Cleveland coverage, including reporting from Mary Kay Cabot, raised doubts about whether he could be the long-term answer. National analysts floated the idea of drafting yet another quarterback. None of that stopped the fans from making their position known. We have already seen what Shedeur Sanders can do on the field, and fans are making it clear they want him in the Pro Bowl. That is the real power of fan voting. This is what it looks like when people push back against institutional resistance. Those close to the situation stressed that the momentum cannot slow down and that continued support matters if the rankings are going to reflect reality. Being ranked number 10 is impressive, but when you break things down honestly, Shedeur should be sitting much higher. On a per-game basis, his performance stacks up with anyone ahead of him. His efficiency, decision-making, and accuracy match quarterbacks who have played full seasons with stable systems. Over 1,000 passing yards in just 4 starts tells its own story. His yards per game are elite by any standard. The numbers only back up what shows on film. He plays with confidence and competitive edge every time he steps onto the field. Pressure does not make him fold, it sharpens him. That 4-touchdown performance against Tennessee made it impossible to ignore what he brings to the table. He has done more with less support than nearly every quarterback ranked above him. So yes, number 10 stands out, especially for a quarterback with only 4 starts. That alone puts him in rare territory. But being honest about performance, Shedeur Sanders has a real case to be top 5. Not on potential, not on hype, strictly on what he has produced when given the chance. People close to the situation have also raised a point that deserves serious thought. When everything is considered, it is fair to wonder whether he actually finished higher in fan voting. The idea that his rise may have been slow to keep things comfortable for the league is not easy to dismiss. If a rookie with limited starts climbs too fast and disrupts preferred narratives, it creates tension. And that possibility leaves an uncomfortable question hanging in the air about how much weight fan voices truly carry when the story starts moving faster than expected. None of this would surprise anyone who has been paying close attention. The league has always protected certain narratives. Coverage gets guided, storylines get shaped, and uncomfortable truths have a habit of being pushed to the background.
I don't even think about nothing. I don't think about anything. If it's not words or anything, at this point, it can't do anything to me. I know, the God put the ability and the power within me to not even think about nobody else's comments, not care. It is what it is. I spoke with him. He said, nah, bro, that wasn't. He said, that wasn't. He told me on the plane. He came up. He was like, nah, bro, that wasn't that true. I see how they trying to spin. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm not tripping, regardless of whatever it was. Nobody's words or anything affects me, So, yeah.
A rookie quarterback who sat on the bench for half the season suddenly becoming a top 5 Pro Bowl vote-getter would completely tear apart the claim that Shedeur Sanders was not ready and that the Browns were justified in keeping him sidelined. That kind of outcome would force explanations nobody wants to give. It would raise the question of how a quarterback with 4 starts could outperform veterans who played all season. It would also mean admitting the Browns may have made a major mistake. Most importantly, it would highlight how fan opinion directly clashes with so-called expert evaluations. So what if the adjustment was simple? Shift the rankings and place him at number 10. Still impressive, but far less disruptive to the storyline the league prefers. Is that a conspiracy? Possibly. But after everything that has unfolded this season, the idea is not hard to imagine. Online reaction only poured more fuel into the discussion. A post spread rapidly across social media pointing out that the Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders had accumulated top 10 Pro Bowl points among all quarterbacks in the league. The original post mistakenly listed 2 starts before being corrected to 4, but the message remained unchanged. Fans clearly view him as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. What really made people pause was another detail. Shedeur has more Pro Bowl votes than Bo Nix. That comparison changed the tone of the conversation. Bo Nix is the full-time starter for the Denver Broncos. He has played every game this season. He is leading a winning team and is firmly in the Offensive Rookie of the Year discussion. Analysts have pointed out that he has had every opportunity to build momentum and stats week after week. Despite all of that, Shedeur Sanders, with only 4 starts and half a season spent watching from the sideline, has more Pro Bowl votes than him. That contrast says a lot about how fans are evaluating performance versus opportunity. People close to the situation responded sharply to that comparison and suggested that some fan bases may be louder than the results actually support. The point landed without needing to be pushed any further. Facts are facts. If competition truly matters, then Bo Nix supporters should have no issue respecting what Shedeur Sanders has done. That is not a shot at Bo Nix, who is having a solid rookie season and deserves credit for his performance. This is simply stating the objective reality. When fans were given a choice, when people were asked who they actually wanted to see in the Pro Bowl, more of them chose Shedeur Sanders, even though he played only a fraction of the games. That alone says plenty. It speaks to the excitement he creates, the moments he delivers, and the genuine connection he has built with football fans across the country. And this is where the situation turns ironic in a way that cannot be ignored. The Cleveland Browns organization, the same franchise that kept Shadeur on the bench for months, ended up acknowledging his Pro Bowl ranking publicly. This was the same coaching staff that struggled with preparation during his debut, the same front office that had rumors swirling about drafting yet another quarterback. Yet on the final day of Pro Bowl voting, the Browns posted the updated fan vote rankings on their official social media platforms. Instagram and X both carried the message, encouraging fans to push votes before the deadline. Right there on the list were familiar names. Myles Garrett near the top, Joel Bitonio among the leaders, Denzel Ward in the mix, and sitting at number 10 was Shedeur Sanders. The irony was unavoidable. After months of hesitation and quiet doubt, the organization had to recognize it publicly. For a long time, the narrative centered on readiness, patience, and development. His opportunities were limited, his role minimized, and his progress questioned. Fan voting made all of that impossible to ignore. The Browns were forced by the numbers to acknowledge that their rookie quarterback ranked top 10 in Pro Bowl voting across the entire NFL. That reaction spilled into the comments, where the divide became obvious. Some people summed it up simply by pointing out that the loudest critics represent a much smaller group than they think. Negativity shows up fast and often online, but it does not reflect the full picture. A much larger group of fans watched Shedeur play, respected what he produced in limited time, and voted accordingly. The numbers back that up. Support came not just from Cleveland, but from fans with no local ties and no interest in internal team debates. They judged what they saw on the field and responded with their votes. That contrast revealed how much louder negativity sounds when it dominates comment sections, even when it is not the majority view. Throughout the season, resistance followed Shedeur Sanders everywhere. Kevin Stefanski kept him on the bench despite signs he could contribute. Mary Kay Cabot and other local voices continued to question whether he could be the long-term answer. National media reduced him to a fifth-round label and suggested years of waiting before he could matter. Despite all of that, the results became official. Shedeur Sanders finished top 10 in Pro Bowl voting. That ranking is locked in and cannot be undone. Online complaints cannot erase it. Debates cannot rewrite it. The fans voted, and the record reflects their choice. Not everyone reacted positively. Some Browns fans openly criticized the result, calling it embarrassing or questioning why he appeared on the list at all. Others compared him to quarterbacks from different teams or dismissed the vote entirely. These reactions stood out because they came from people who claimed to want success for the franchise, yet chose to tear down their own quarterback for achieving something rare. That response exposed a smaller but louder segment of the fan base that appears more committed to defending past opinions than recognizing progress. It also revealed how hard it can be for some people to adjust when reality challenges their expectations. Meanwhile, support continued to grow nationally. Fans across the country kept voting without any connection to Cleveland or its internal debates. They watched Shedeur Sanders play and came to the same conclusion. He belongs in the Pro Bowl conversation. As this unfolded, one moment captured the mood perfectly. Footage from a Browns game showed a fan wearing a custom jersey calling for Kevin Stefanski to be fired. It was not just a joke. It reflected frustration, disbelief, and the feeling among many fans that the wrong decisions were made and the wrong player was held back. Whether people agree or not, the conversation has changed. The votes were counted. The results are official. Shedeur Sanders finished top 10 in Pro Bowl voting, and that fact now exists permanently in the record. No amount of denial or frustration can erase what just happened. At this point, there is nothing left to debate. The season played out, the opportunities were limited, the obstacles were real, and still, Shedeur Sanders finished top 10 in Pro Bowl voting. That did not happen by accident. It happened because fans watched the games, evaluated the moments, and made a decision that could not be ignored. This was not about hype or headlines. It was about performance under pressure. 4 starts were enough for people to see accuracy, poise, leadership, and confidence that usually take years to show up. While others had full seasons, built systems, and endless reps, Shedeur made his case in fragments of opportunity and still stood shoulder to shoulder with the league's biggest names. The league can spin narratives, teams can justify decisions, analysts can move goalposts. None of that changes what is already written into the record. The votes are final. The ranking is real. Shedeur Sanders is a top 10 Pro Bowl quarterback in the NFL, and that fact will always exist no matter how uncomfortable it makes some people. And this is exactly why stories like this matter, because the real truth in football often lives beneath the headlines and behind the numbers people do not want to talk about. That is what we break down every single day. If you want real context, real film-driven insight, and the full picture without the noise, that is what Huddle Files is built for. No fluff, no narratives handed down, just the game, the facts, and the truth fans actually care about. This story is not over, it is just getting started, and you already know. We'll have every second of it broken down, every twist, every leak, every hidden play behind the headlines. So like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share it out. Stay locked in with Huddle Files, where the real NFL stories live.